Along with showcasing today's new cars, car shows like the Detroit Auto Show have become the stage for the concept vehicle and a look into the future. Now, usually, most concepts are mothballed, but over the past 10 years, Daimler Chrysler has consistently turned concept into reality almost overnight.
I think for us at Chrysler, the concept cars have become very significant. When you look at cars that have made it to production, you take a look at the Neon became the Neon, the Viper made it in its entirety, the Prowler became the Prowler. And I think, when you look at design and you look at how it adds value, good design generally adds value faster than it adds cost. If the customer can see something that is remarkable about your product, or they can see something that's somewhat different or differentiates it in a way that they feel positive about, then generally that's adding value, and that may be a little bit different than a competitor. So those are things that we're always looking to try to do, and it's very difficult.
Difficult, yes, but it's work. But why Chrysler?
I think it's the people. I think it's Eaton. I think it's Gale. I think they have a bunch of engineers and car enthusiasts at the top of the line in Chrysler, and I think they got a bunch of bean counters over at GM. I really do. I mean, they've got a bunch of brand marketers who distribute Johnson & Johnson products, and now they're running the company. And it's obvious they don't give a darn about cars, and Chrysler people do.
I really do think that, we got into this whole period of the 70s where we were caught up in this era of regulation. It was fuel economy. Everything was just like it was oppressive, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, the real need and desire on the part of the customer for performance and sparkling and sportiness and feeling good, that never went away. And I think we as the manufacturers went away from that, and it's just nice to see it come back, and it works. I mean, people are there; they will come.
Now, it's one thing to roll a concept into a production vehicle, but recently, Daimler Chrysler has actually invited auto journalists to get behind the wheel of these one-of-a-kinds.
This is one of the rare opportunities where you actually get to drive the vehicles you see in all those magazines and sitting on the podiums of all those car shows. And it's just amazing that these vehicles actually work, because most of them are static models. So to actually have a car that you can drive around and that you can hear the engine, everything works, is just an incredible opportunity. There's a lot of neo-classic styling in these vehicles, and certainly the one like the Chrysler Atlantic is very much from the days of the 30s, from the classic Delahaye and Delage and Bugatti era. And to incorporate that into these newer vehicles, it's just terrific.
There's definitely a retro nostalgia factor here that everybody seems to love. These cars seem to be universally, people see the cues in them, fender lines, grills, that sort of thing. The PT Cruiser, I guess, is a good example of that. Reminds people of cars of the late 30s. We think that's wonderful, and as long as they do, we're all on the right wavelength.
What we do is we gauge reaction to those concepts. Do you like it or you don't like it? Is it hot? Is it cold? Does it turn you on? Does it turn you off? And one of the things we're very proud of at Daimler Chrysler is our whole approach to sort of develop what we call the love-hate relationship. The Dodge Ram concept is a good example of that, where some people said, I don't like this truck at all, and others said, God, this thing is great. Here's my deposit, I want one right away. And that's what we look for, is the reactions of people. This thing it's not an age income thing, it's an attitude, it's a reaction. And of course, the more positive the reaction, the more our design staff really gets energized with what they do.
Going back for retro cues and so on, public loves that, the market likes it. It's just, I just think it's the right direction to go. There's a nice warm feeling about it, but you can integrate modern technology with some of those wonderful, good art is timeless, really. And it's the same in automotive, engineering as well as in appearance. That cars can be beautiful, they can also bring back images of the past, and they can also show the future, what's under the hood.
It's something we're very proud of. We're going to continue to do it. You'll see some great things coming from us here in the not-too-distant future at the Detroit Auto Show, which will set the tune for more concepts and more reaction to product.
I've just driven the future, and it's got a Chrysler badge on the hood. That's coming up later on Kenzie's Corner. Now, you regular viewers know I don't think much of sport utility vehicles. They're not sporty, they're not particularly utilitarian, they're ugly because they look like the box they came in, and the technology, that's 50 stuff, man. Live axles, leaf springs. I mean, Conestoga wagons had leaf springs. They got pushrod V8 motors that get about 4 miles per gallon. They have no brakes, and they ride like trucks because that's what they are. Now, people say, well, I like the way I feel in my sport ute. I like the four-wheel drive. I like the high seating position. Well, check out this little puppy. It's got a nice high seating position because it's got gigantic wheels and tires that lift the car off the ground, a nice high roof line so the seat's another inch or so off the floor. It's got four-wheel drive because it has 2 engines. It's got an electric motor driving the front wheels and a V6 gas engine that drives the rear wheels. Driving in town, you shut off the gas motor and you're driving pollution-free. That, my friends, is modern technology. There's lots of room for 4 people and their luggage. And look at this thing. It's gorgeous. Now, this is the Chrysler Citadel. It's a one-off concept car that Chrysler has built just to test the market. I think it's absolutely sensational. Now, Chrysler has a huge investment in conventional sport utes because, of course, they own the Jeep brand. Trust me, that's yesterday. This is tomorrow. Chrysler, build it, and they will drive. I'm Jim Kenzie.
So here's the question. Where were you 32 years ago? I know some of you weren't even a glint in your father's eye. As for me, well, I was in diapers but found time to get Motoring TV off the ground. And today I like to think we've got one of the best automotive video libraries in the world. If you agree, please give us the thumbs up and also subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.